The world today is an increasingly international one because so many activities, be they political, financial, trade, or property, are performed regardless of national boundaries, and hence the profession needs to recognize the changing world in its future planning. Increasing demand for universal standards, including those of professional practice. Professional bodies have a leading role to play in ensuring that professional skills are not only enhanced, but are up to minimum standard, recognizable and acceptable worldwide. A global village. With the advent of the internet and social media in our society, we can now speak with, actually hold meetings with other people in different parts of the world without any one of us leaving the comfort of our own homes or offices. Indeed, if the world has become a global village, then it stands to reason that our business practices and operations would exhibit to some extent similarity, or let's say homogeneity, the world over. Internationally accepted standards have been adopted the world over, particularly in the areas of social responsibility, data quality, environmental management, food safety management, risk management, and quality management, just to mention a few. Any wonder why we should not then try to benchmark our work processes, operations, and ethics to some set standards? The traditional practice of quantity surveying in Nigeria usually consists who engage a few other hands to assist them. More often than not, the capacity of such firms is limited to the size and number of projects on. Due to these limitations, deficiencies and inadequacies tend to show up here and there, causing dissatisfaction of clients and other industry stakeholders. So, benchmarking the operations of a quantity surveying. When we benchmark the operation quantity surveying practice, we are simply measuring the performance of that firm's products, services, or processes against those of another considered to be. The essence of benchmarking is to identify internal opportunities for improvement. According to the Business Dictionary, benchmarking of an organization's policies, products, programs, strategies, and their comparison with measurements or similar measurements of its peers. The objectives of benchmarking are: 1, to determine what and where improvements are called for; 2, organizations achieve their high performance levels; and to use the information obtained to improve performance. The Cambridge English Dictionary defines benchmarking as an act of measuring the quality of something by comparing it with something else of an accepted standard. It is the use of something as a standard in order to improve your own work, products, or processes. The quantity surveying practice offers professional services, and this is therefore expected to maintain a degree of professionalism in the services it renders to its clientele. That means there is, in this ever-changing and evolving construction industry that we operate in, most especially with the recent digitalization trends in the industry. Now, in benchmarking your practice against quality management standards. In the United Kingdom, many QS practices are certificated by the British Standards Institution. Architect Babalakin spoke extensively about that yesterday. And have developed quality management systems to improve the quality of their services to clients. And some even offer a quality assurance consultancy service to clients and other professionals. However, in order to benchmark our own practices against quality management standards, we would need to take the following into consideration. What are quality management standards? At the onset of the Industrial Revolution, early quality management systems were used as standards that controlled product as more people had to work together to produce results and production quantities grew. Best practices were needed to ensure quality results. Eventually, best practices for controlling product and process outcomes were established and documented. These documented best practices turned into standard practices for quality management systems. Thereafter, the British Standards 5750 has defined quality management as the organization structure, responsibilities, activities, resources, and events pertaining to a firm that together provide organized procedures and methods of implementation 2 and 3 of that very British standard. This UK standard started the trend which formed the basis of the European standard for quality assurance, and that equally led to the British standard ISO 9000 that we all know